Jane Yong, your host today. So maybe someone know me, someone that doesn't know me. Then it's okay. Let us proceed now to our topic today. First, we will discuss what is the business challenge for our topic today. Then we will demo on how ACT electronic fund transfer resolve the challenge. We will end off this section with a summary and Q&A segment to answer any of your questions and inquiries. So please feel free to post your question and inquiry in the chat box, and our team and I will address the answer at the end of the section. Okay. So why electronic fund transfer? As the business grows, the payment increase, things getting more complex, and suddenly those manual processes just cannot keep up. That is where the EFT helps finance team move away from manual execution and manage payment in a more structured and system-driven way. Now, let's move on the next slide and take a look at the common payment challenge that finance team is facing. So before we talk about the solution, let's start with what finance team face on the daily basis. First, approval and execution are often fragmented. Because the approval happens through the email or WhatsApp, while the payments are executed manually in bank portal. This means that the approval, payment execution, and accounting record all live in different places. That will be making it the difficult to maintain a clear or complete audit trail. So second, a lot of payment data is still handled manually now. Bank detail and payment amount are rekeyed from one system to another. For example, every manual step increase the risk of errors, and even a small the small mistake can result in wrong and duplicate payments as well. Third, these manual steps slow everything down. Finance team will spend a lot of time preparing the files, checking the data, and responding to payment status queries. So instead of focusing on the cash planning or analysis, time is spent answering questions like, they will always ask, has this payment been made? Or is it this status is already approved? And when this happens, every payment cycle, the impact goes far beyond just extra work. So when the payment control are weak, the impact goes far beyond finance operation. Let me walk through the three common outcomes we see in many organizations. So let's start with the vendor payment. When approval are scattered across the email or message, the payment are also handled manually. It will easily to for the things to get started. So someone might think that a payment is approved, but another person is still waiting for the confirmation and asking, is it approved or not? Is it the payment confirmed or not? So before you know it, the payment is delayed and the vendor start chasing. Over time, this affects trust and can even disrupt day-to-day operations, especially with the key supplier. So the next impact is on audit and compliance. When the payment control are weak, the audit evidence doesn't live in one place. Approval might be in email or message, and then the payment detail in the spreadsheet and execution record in the bank payment in the bank portal. So when auditor ask the question, finance team end up spending hours pulling information together just to explain what happened for this payment, and it's stressful and also time consuming and a complete avoidable. So next, and then there is the risk of the errors when the manual process usually mean we key in the data, bank detail, amount, reference, or even with the base intention, mistake also happen. A single wrong digit can also lead to an incorrect payment or even a duplicate payment, which then create more follow-ups and rework and also the award conversation. So with the ACT electronic fund transfer, finance team can see improvement in 4 main areas. First, the payment become paperless. So everything stay within the business central. The approval, records, and supporting document. So there is much less of reliance on the printed document, the physical document, the email attached, or the manual filing, which will make the whole process easier to manage daily. Second, the error are reduced. So because of the payment preparation is more standardized and there is less manual rekeying. So the chance of the making of a mistake, like a wrong amount or a duplicate payment, will be more less and less. So third, the teams will become more efficient. Because the payment can be handled in the batches instead of one by one. So the payment cycle are shortened and the finance team spend less time preparing the files. And finally, accountability is much stronger. Every payment is approved, tracked, and recorded inside the business central. So when someone asks what happened to a payment, and the answer is already there, no chasing email or message they were needed. So overall, it's turned payment into a much more controlled and predictable process for the finance team. So next, let's look at how ACT EFT enforce this control within the business central. So ACT electronic fund transfer EFT enforce control by separating payment preparation and approve, applying structure workflow, and also keep the full audit trail inside the business central. The result is lower risk, stronger governance, and greater confidence for the finance team. So we have just seen the weak payment control lead to the delayed vendor payments, higher audit effort, and increased risk of the errors. So let's now look at how ACT electronic fund transfer helps address this issue in a practical daily. First, let's talk about the built-in bank template that we have. This is one of the key features in our ACT electronic fund transfer. We have the pre-built bank file template for commonly used in local banks such as the Maybank, CIMB Bank, OCBC Bank, and also the Maybank and etc. So what this means for the finance team is simple. There is no need to design bank format from scratch or worry about whether the file structure match bank requirements. So you just need to select the bank and then generate the EFT file, and it is ready to be submitted to the bank portal. So this will shorten the implementation time and also allow teams to start using the EFT confidently from the day one. So next is the batch processing of vendor payment. So instead of handling the payment one by one, finance team can group multiple vendor payment into a single payment, control the payment run. So this directly helps reduce the delays, shorten the payment cycle, and gives better visibility into what is being pay and when. So next, our ACT electronic fund transfer also generate the bank compliant EFT file directly from the Business Central payment journal module. So this will remove the needs for manual formatting or rekeying data into the bank portal. As a result, this risk of the errors is reduced and the payments are more confident and reliable. So last but not least, the audit trail and traceability. So every step from the payment preparation to approval and posting is captured within the system. So this will make the payment is much easier to respond to the audit question, prove the proper authorization, and also maintain the compliance without digging through the email or the spreadsheet. So these features are designed to solve the real problems we just discussed. So payment delays, errors, the risk, and also the audit pressure. So by bringing the structure, control, and visibility back into the payment process. So now let's get into the key highlight of today's webinar, ACT Electronic Fund Transfer, EFT. So to fully utilize the EFT module, here are a few prerequisites before get into it. First, your company and vendor bank account must be properly set up in the Business Central. Second, it's important to have the basic understanding of how the approval workflow are configured for the payment journal, as this control the authorizations and also the segregation of the duties. So lastly, users should be familiar with the payment journal, as this is where the EFT payment file are prepared and processed. With these three prerequisites in place, so we'll be more prepared to use the EFT effectively. So now let me show you the demo. So today I will use for the CIMB bank file template for the demo session. So first, we will go for the payment journal. So we will create a one payment journal for the vendor payment. So let me select two of the vendors, two of the different vendors that using the CIMB bank. So after I select for the vendors, then for the CIMB bank, there is the need to select to configure for the EFT bank identification code, which is the CIMB bank one. And also we need to select for the EFT payment type. So this is also the pre-set up before we can generate for the EFT template. Okay, so after I select for the payment and for the vendor and also the EFT identification code and payment type, so I will need to apply the invoice entries for this vendor, which means I need to let the system know how much of the payment or transaction that we need to pay for this vendor. So I will apply for the entries. So I will apply for the entry and set that applies to ID for the invoice line. So after we set for the applies entries, we can know that how much of the amount within this payment transaction. Then after that, with the workflow approval, we have set up for the payment journal for the approval status. So if let's say the approval status is still in impulse restriction, you cannot generate for the EFT file. So if let's say I click for the export EFT file, the system will tell you that the payment, the EFT template export is blocked because of the payment journal need to have the approval from your maybe finance HOD. So now let me send the approval request for this payment journal. So after I send for the request approval payment journal, so once the approval request is sent, the finance HOD or approval will receive an approval notification email. So from the email, the finance HOD can directly open the payment journal review and verify the approval and approve the payment transaction. And also the finance HOD can also access and approve the request directly from the request approval section on the Business Central main dashboard. Okay, so since now I demo for this, so I won't use for the email notification. I will just open the approval request from the dashboard by using the finance HOD account, which is the approval that I sent. So you can see that the approval have one request approval to need to have the approve. So after I click this, I can see there is the payment journal that I need to approve. So I can open the record. So once I open the record, I can see the information of the payment journal, which with how much of the amount, and then also with what is the balance account type, and also what is the vendor information for the account, and also the description of who I want to pay for. So after I checking for all the information, then I can approve the payment journal. Okay, so once I approve the payment journal, the approval status will become approved lah. Okay, so after approve, also the requester will also receive for the email that said that this payment journal has been approved by your HOD. So now I can generate for my payment journal for the EFT template, for the EFT file, sorry. So you can see that the approval status is approved. So now I can generate my EFT file from the payment journal. So I click for the bank menu, and then I click for the ACT export EFT. So you can see that now the system will prompt the window say that is it you want to key in for any document number, which is the payment journal document number. So if let's say you want to export the EFT file that for the both vendor, you can just leave the document number field blank and then just click for the OK. So system will export the CIMB CIMB file, the EFT file that I generated just now. So inside we have the both of the vendors with the amount and also the details that the CIMB EFT template they request. Okay, so now this EFT template we can use for import in the CIMB portal. I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry. So sorry, now you all can see my screen. So with this CIMB EFT file, we can use for this EFT file that it can import in the CIMB bank portal. Okay, but because now I am doing the demonstration, so I can't show you for the CIMB bank portal, but I can show you. So I will show you for this upload CIMB bulk payment EFT file step for your reference. So when user log in into the CIMB bank portal, they can click for the bulk payment menu. Then after that, they need to choose for the for the EFT file that generated from the payment journal just now. So after they choose for the file, and then they also need to choose for the balance account that need to pay for the vendors lah. Then after that, they will need to submit for this bulk payment EFT file. Then after they submit, the CIMB bank portal will show the list of the EFT file. So this list will the status will pending confirmation. So means that the finance HOD can also confirm for this transaction for the total amount by using the CIMB portal. Okay. So after the CIMB bank portal, the transaction has been approved, and then the user can then post for the payment journal for these two transactions. Okay, so if let's say the CIMB bank portal reject for the template, maybe, or the finance HOD realize that, or maybe the payment is wrong, then they can also still reject inside the CIMB bank portal. So for this, the payment journal, we also allow user to reset for this EFT template file from the payment journal. So you can see that this is the EFT file generated, which is big. So if let's say I want to reset, I can click for the ACT reset EFT file exported. Okay, so after I click for this payment journal line, then you can see that the EFT file generated is unticked. So now user can modify for the amount or modify any information for the vendors, and then click then send the request approval again. Once approved, then they can generate for the EFT file as well. Okay, so after the payment transaction is approved, then I can proceed to post for the transaction. So the system will tell you that the payment journal line is successful posted. So once I can also trace back the EFT file that we exported. So I can search, I can enter for the ACT EFT register. So once I come inside this page, there is the history, the audit track history for user or for audit to trace back for the EFT file transaction and also exported time. And so when I click on this line, click the navigate, there is also the geo entries that you can trace back. Okay, so this is the demonstration. So now let me summarize. So when the payment process are disconnected or poorly controlled, the risk and also the efficiency naturally increase, especially as the organization grow and payment volume rise. ACT electronic fund transfer also reconnect the entire payment process back to the business central, giving finance team a single and also the control system of record. So this will result in stronger control, improve the accuracy, and the better compliance. So without the increasing the operational complexity day to day. So most importantly, the ACT electronic fund transfer is designed for how finance team actually work, not just for the accounting transaction, but for confidence, accountability, and confidence in every payment. Thank you everyone for being such wonderful audience and also for your previous time today. We hope that you enjoy this webinar section. So we look forward to see you in our next event. So stay tuned. Event detail will be announced soon. So thank you once again for the joining.